All right, so we do have a special guest. He's a friend of the show, Buster Scher. Buster got his start at just 14 years old. Good boy. Posting videos about basketball. It turned into Hoops Nation. Have you ever been there?
I have. I've definitely been to Hoops Nation.
Me too. I go there almost every day because I'm a big basketball, person.
Wait a minute. He founded Hoops Nation at 14?
Yeah. What were you doing at 14?
Picking my nose.
Buster.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. So that started as a side project, and then you started working with some other people that we may know, like or heard of. We don't know them. MrBeast, NBA, record labels, athletes, all to grow their social media platforms. And now Buster is blowing up Komando.
Oh, nice.
Yes, he is. So Buster, let's talk about social media. Where do you even start?
Good question, Kim.
No, I mean, seriously. I mean, you have all of these competing platforms and you're trying to get attention and you've got reels and shorts and you have all these varying opinions. You need to post at 8 a.m., at 10 a.m., at 3 p.m., and you want to do short videos. You want to do 15-second videos, and they need to have you need to have a great thumbnail, or you don't need to have a good thumbnail. And you need to take ads out. You need to boost posts. I mean, gosh, there's just so much.
Yeah, I think it's good. It would be a good place to start with the great news. And the great news is that the playing field is level. Everyone is equal today on social, whereas in the past, there were all sorts of advantages that large teams and people who had off social distribution had. But today on social, everyone is equal. And then, I think to simplify things down, it doesn't matter what time you post. It doesn't even really matter how often you post, although the more tries, the more shots you put out there, the more likely that you are to have some that hit. But the advice I give to everyone is you want to try to figure out a couple formats, things that you can repeat every day, things that you can repeat regularly and continue to build upon, rather than have to come up with something completely new. So to give an example, let's say you own a bakery. I would suggest that you make a format about making a different cookie every day. And you can do that. It's repeatable. You can continue to improve small little things like the captions or the text on the screen or the music that you have on the back, or every day you start posting it on an additional platform. And you just get those compounding returns of slowly improving that and adding new formats in. But everything else is, for the most part, just noise and people making it more complicated than it has to be.
Now, what about TikTok Shop? I mean, that's something.
There has never been a greater opportunity for anyone to make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month with 0 followers than TikTok Shop.
I'm taking notes.
It's insane. Basically, the way that TikTok Shop works is it's affiliate content creation. So they have a shop that's available to almost everyone. There's a small requirement. I think now it's maybe even 3,000 followers, but there are all sorts of ways that you can get up to that, whether it even just be from friends or commenting on other people's posts. But at roughly 3,000 to 5,000 followers, you can request any product that's on the TikTok Shop, and they'll send it to you for free. You make a video with it, and then anyone that buys it directly through your video, you're getting, between a 20 and 50% commission on that item.
Wow.
And given the TikTok algorithm is boosting all these videos like crazy, you have people who are making $100,000 from a single TikTok Shop affiliate video on a product that was already doing well without them.
That is crazy. That is. And so you say there's a minimum of 3,000. I mean, is it really realistic, Buster? I mean, 10,000, 20,000? I mean, even if you don't have a lot of followers and you're just new at this?
Yeah, you don't need really any followers. You just need the minimum requirements, which are constantly getting lowered by TikTok. Really, all you need is some level of dedication to figuring it out and taking a lot of shots at it, because you're not penalized in any way for making a lot of TikTok Shop videos. They actually encourage it. And these videos, they have long lifespans. They can last and be in the algorithm for, up to a year or longer.
Wow.
So if you're out creating videos for a product that stays in the TikTok shop, they'll all, sort of compound on each other. Let's say I made a TikTok shop video about iPhone case. And then I, made another one the next day, and then I made another one the next day, and each of them got 10,000 views. I'm going to be getting sales from each of those 3 videos, continuing week after week after week. So it's really about getting a lot of, for a basketball reference, shots up in the air, and you'll do well.
So I had a former coworker, and she did pretty well on social media, especially Instagram. And I'm sitting there with her, and she's making a post, and she posts it, and then she logs into another account, and she goes to that post, and she likes it and comments, and then logs into another account and likes and comments. And I was sitting there going, is anything on social media even real? Does doing something like that actually help and boost a post?
To me, that sounds like a waste of time.
Okay.
If I'm being honest. Because the algorithms, this is the way the Instagram algorithm works, for example. If you post something to your own feed, they'll show it to a very small percentage of your followers, maybe, 1 to 5%, depending on how many followers you have. And then based on how those followers interact with it, then they show it to another 10%, and then another 10%. And then once they've realized that your audience engages with it, that it's good content, they'll start pushing it out to people who don't follow you too. So whether, she might be, depending on what the content is, if she's not watching the video all the way through, sharing it, and saving it, which, you couldn't do from, infinite accounts, she might even be hurting her own content. You want everything to be, you want it all to be organic, and you want people to engage.
Okay, this is why we have Buster here, okay? Because Buster knows everything about winning in social media. Now, Buster, I put you on hold because we don't have a TikTok shop, so we need to pay some bills by playing some commercials. But when we come back, Buster, I want to hear, because you and I have talked about this, about the gal who's selling makeup on TikTok and making, $15,000 a month. We have that to come here on the Kim Komando Show. Now, if you're just joining us, we are in conversation with Buster Scher. And Buster is now taking over my social media accounts. He started with Instagram, right, Buster? And then you are doing X and YouTube, and we're going to set up a TikTok shop, and we've got all kinds of great things planned. And in private conversation with you, Buster, we've been talking about your newsletter, right? That's
right. Yeah, the Hobby Letter.
It's called the Hobby Letter, and the Hobby Letter is fascinating because I get it now, and it's great reading. I get a complimentary, just to let you know, Andrew.
Ooh.
So you're going to have to pay.
Friends in high places. It's good to have them.
And it goes through how various people, average people, are making money online, and how they are doing it on social media. Give us a few stories.
Yeah, I'd be happy to. Yeah, the whole point of it is to showcase everyday people who are able to, make money around specifically things that they enjoy and social. It's really a fun combination. A great example would be, a girl on TikTok Shop who I interviewed a little while ago who has less than 5,000 followers and is making over $20,000 a month on what we were just talking about with TikTok Shop. She loves makeup. She loves beauty products. So she makes videos about them and attaches the product and sells thousands and thousands of units organically through these videos. And then she gets a check every month from TikTok for doing it. There's other people who create Instagram, they're called theme accounts, where, you just start talking about any subject you want. Let's say it's, butterflies, for example. You make a page about butterflies, and then you're able to build up a big enough following to where you can start advertising to, on behalf of companies in those niches. Or another really popular one, I know a guy who's, made upwards of $50,000 a month creating a faceless YouTube channel where he just does voiceovers about things that are happening in pop culture. There are so many ways, dozens and dozens and more every single day that pop up where just about anyone can make, 10, 20,000 plus per month around something they're passionate about with social.
And the AI tools can absolutely help you. mean, we were going back and forth in chat yesterday, and you showed me some, I guess, what would you call them? Thumbnails, ads that you made in 3 minutes that probably would have taken a graphic artist. What do you think, Buster? A week? 3 days?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I joked with someone yesterday that, basically anyone has the power of a 100-person agency now.
Wow. And how do you do that? Using what tools?
So the brand new tool, which is the newest model from ChatGPT 4.0, if you, just include a prompt of make me a poster ad for this brand, for your brand, in the style of, and then you put in whatever, style you want it to be. I did in the style of Star Wars, in the style of SpongeBob, in the style of all these different things. And then you include a little bit more information about what you want the poster ad to actually say. So I gave it a little description of what, thehobbyletter.com is. And I was like, okay, put that and put, anyone can make $10,000 a month from organic social. And then once it had both of those things, it had enough information to be able to put these out. And I just said, after that, I prompted, okay, now do one in the style of this. Now do one in the style of this. And the whole process took me about 3 minutes and 30 seconds when it would have cost me $500 to $1,000 and taken a week about last week.
And see, and that's the thing, is that we are living in such a fabulous time where money-making opportunities are there. Now, it does take work. I mean, like, you talked about the gal who's selling makeup making $20,000 a month or whatever. I mean, she has to make these videos. She has to keep the audience engaged. How many hours a day would you estimate?
For someone like her, probably 2 to 3 hours a day. If I had to estimate,
She's
I think
fabulous.
she told me something around that. Yeah, which is great. And the best thing about social, which I haven't mentioned here yet, is it's free. You get as many shots as you want. There's literally zero downside, especially if you're doing it around something you enjoy, because then you're having fun with it too. And, unlike real world advertising, where like if you're on a billboard on the side of the highway, you have to pay, based on how many people are going to drive by. On social, the more people that see your billboard, the bigger the billboard gets, and it's free.
Yes, but you cannot underestimate the power of radio.
Oh, yeah.
And endorsement radio, because we love endorsement radio. We love radio here. And so you can do all your free social, but don't forget that you do want to make sure that you support your local radio station too.
I have a quick question.
Yes.
So I used to be a heavy TikTok user, Buster. And then I maybe go on the app now once a week for 10 minutes because it got filled up with the ads that TikTok is feeding me, which I understand. You got to have ads to pay the bills. But then everyone wants to become rich on TikTok. So all my other videos were just people trying to sell me something. Is there a fear that with all this, everyone wants to make money on social media because it's free, the entire thing will become diluted?
So it changes by the month, depending on what platform it is. So back in the day, for example, that happened to Facebook, basically. And then everyone started going over to Instagram and Snapchat, and then everyone started going over to TikTok. But it's always changing. So right now, there's an incredible arbitrage on Facebook. 3 billion users, not very many content creators. And they pay, monetization-wise, more than just about every other platform. MrBeast was on record just the other day saying that he makes more money per view on Facebook than he does on YouTube.
Wow, I didn't know that.
It's always changing, basically month to month. But, I will say that TikTok is still right up there at the top because they'll pay as part of the creativity fund basically $1 per 1,000 views on short form video if it's over a minute long, whereas even YouTube isn't paying that much on a 1 minute long video. So it really depends on what niche you're in, what kind of content you're creating, how long your content is. But there's always arbitrages on different platforms because that dynamic is changing.
Okay, see, this is the type of information. These are the high level conversations, Andrew, that I have with Buster that, you and I just You mean you make fun of me because the way that I say a robot? Okay, Buster is putting money in my pocket. Okay, and Buster is teaching everybody else how to put money in their pocket.
I would have never predicted the end of this interview would turn into a slam of me, but hey, we got here.
I mean, Buster, thehobbyletter.com. You ought to check it out, thehobbyletter.com. The guy really knows what he's talking about. He's proven it. You know, I don't know if you know this, Andrew, but there are some Instagram reels that Buster has taken in his group, and 4 million views.
That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing such a fabulous job. And so if you're sitting there at home, we get so many people call the show and send me notes and say, you know, how can I make money on social media? How can I do this? And just, you need to check it out, thehobbyletter.com, thehobbyletter.com.